Thank you very much for your votes and enthusiasm to revise our seventh canto topic. So I'll begin with the main structure. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, there are 10 subject matters, and each of the subject matters is also. Thank you very much for your vote. Each of the subject matters are also connected with different parts of the Lord's body. For instance, the first and the second canto represents the lotus feet of Krishna, and the third and the fourth canto represents his thighs, and the fifth canto represents his navel, and the sixth canto represents his chest, and the seventh and the eighth canto represents his arms. So today we'll be looking at the general picture of what we have been studying so far. The seventh canto is the uti aspect of the creation of the Lord. And what is uti? Uti is the inclination to act. So there's the description that unpacks the whole concept of how there are two types of uti, two types of inclination to act. One is auspicious and one is inauspicious. Actually, I should say the other way around. I should say one is inauspicious and one is auspicious. And so the seventh canto is actually like the connection to this point about the auspicious and inauspicious with the father and son relationship, which is Hiranyakashipu and Prahlad Maharaj. So we'll just go over why did we even come to that point of discussing how can there be auspicious and inauspicious? Isn't everything auspicious? Just let me know if you're not able to hear me, and none of your videos is on, so I wouldn't know if my video gets frozen. So just we have to like a little bit go to the background. So in the end of sixth canto, Shukadeva Goswami describes to Parikshit Maharaj how Diti was lamenting intensely, immensely for the loss of her sons, both Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, at the hands of Varahadev and Nrsingadev. So Parikshit becomes very curious. He has this very, very relevant question that most of us wonder. Well, we just discussed that the Lord is impartial, but how is it that he's being partial in killing these demons? Then the explanation is there how devatas, they flourish when there is sattva guna is prominent, then devatas flourish, and when there is rajas and tamas prominent, then the demons flourish. So then Sukadeva Goswami goes on to explain about the neutrality of the Lord, how it works in terms of how he favors, especially he favors the devotees. In how he favors in reciprocation to the devotees' desire, to the devotee's service. So the basic philosophy is brought up by Shukadeva Goswami to Parikshit that when he kills the demons, he's actually liberating them. So this is like a far out concept that whatever the Lord does, whether he's showing mercy or whether he's killing, in both circumstances, yes, he may favor the devotee more because of the desire of the devotee. At the same time, he may not favor, in the sense, he may not give facilities for the demon to get what they want, or the demoniac nature in us, he doesn't empower it, but he does liberate the demons too. So this is the purpose of the Lord, to ultimately uplift all of us. So Shukadeva Goswami quotes about this amazing conversation that comes up in Mahabharata about between Narada Muni and Yudhishthir Maharaj, because Yudhishthir Maharaj had the same question. He had another level of question, actually. His level of question was, when Narada Muni was talking about Shishupal being beheaded by Krishna, Yudhishthir Maharaj asked, how is it possible? Why was this demon who was envious and who was angry towards Krishna, how was it possible that he got liberated? How did the Lord show him so much mercy to liberate him? Then the concept of intensity, Shukadeva Goswami brings up, and he says how whenever there is deep envy, deep anger, whenever there is anything deep, intense emotion towards Krishna, the absorption is there, and which means we get the attention of the Lord. Of course, it's always better to have favorable attention. And then the story of the doorkeepers, Jaya and Vijaya, come up, where they're cursed by the Kumaras, which is, by the way, very much in connection with our flow of reviewing our next chapters. Because why? Let me bring that up right now. Because there is inauspicious and auspicious uti, inclination to act. In terms of, in case of Hiranyakashipu, his inclination to act was a result of the anger of the Kumaras, because the Kumaras became very angry with Hiranyakashipu. So because of that anger is where Hiranyakashipu, Jaya and Vijaya became Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. So therefore the inauspicious aspect is through anger, whereas the auspicious aspect is manifested through example of Prahlad Maharaj. And the auspicious uti, the inclination to act, is coming from Narada Muni's mercy towards Prahlad Maharaj, which leads to Prahlad becoming an inborn devotee, natural devotee, just like Hiranyakashipu was a naturally born demon who was the inclination to act is coming from the anger of the Kumaras. Similarly, Prahlad Maharaj's inclination towards bhakti, Prahlad Maharaj's inclination towards becoming a pure devotee is coming from that mercy. Now, then we study, that comes in the next chapter about the 3 types of Shuddha Bhaktas. I'll keep that for the tomorrow. Today we'll go a little bit overview again about Hiranyakashipu. He starts speaking philosophy when everybody's lamenting Hiranyaksha's death. And this is the philosophical point that demons can't speak philosophy. Demons can know Vedas. Demons can have mystic powers. Demons can be very spiritual without being devotional. But they will not act on the principles of devotion, even though they may know Vedas, they may know Puranas, they may have all mystic powers. And that was demonstrated by Hiranyakashipu because he narrates the story of the Suyagya, when during the battle, Suyagya's dies in the battle, and the wives of Suyagya start lamenting immensely, intensely on the battlefield. Then Yamaraj appears there as a small boy, giving the knowledge and wisdom to all these wives, enlightening about the soul and the body and nature of the end of life. And then also Hiranyakashipu goes on to give the story of the Kulinga bird. Kulinga bird story comes up there. I hope you all remember that. Then Hiranyakashipu, still he is, again, the desire to act based on that anger was so strong in him, he wanted to become immortal. So then he performs immense austerities, and then he pleases Brahma. And then the effect of his austerities, see, even if we don't have Krishna as the goal, if we perform austerities, it can become dangerous. So then his austerities start affecting all the demigods. It starts tormenting all these devatas. Then he becomes emaciated with all this practice, yet he continues with his firm determination. Then Brahma arrives, he asks, what do you want? And then he says, please make me deathless. And Brahma says, excuse me, that's not my domain. I can't give you that. Ask me something more doable. And then, of course, Hiranyakashipu, he speaks about all the ways in which he doesn't want to be killed. Please let me not be met by death, either by the living entity or by a non-living entity, by nobody created by you, Brahma, and not in the inside, not on the outside, not during day, not during night, not on the ground, not in the sky, not by any weapon, not by any human, not by any animal, and not by snakes. He had to include the snakes, and so on and so forth, whatever he could think of. So here the Shukadeva Goswami highlights the point that anybody, however intelligent a person is, they may try to avoid death, but you cannot be smarter than the Supreme Lord. And so Hiranyakashipu, he was smart, but not smart enough. So then the concept of misusing the power comes, how Brahma did benedict Hiranyakashipu, and then immediately with that benediction, he started to take control of the devatas. He took all the planets. It is mentioned in Narsingha Purana that he took all these planets and then tied to the throne. They were his slaves. He could control every planet. So it's like, imagine no planetary influences affecting us. Still, if we are not devotee, can become envious. So that point also Shukadeva Goswami brings up, that with his great determination, he says, Shukadeva Goswami highlights that demons, they can control their senses with great determination so that they can receive boons. So that then after that they get the boons, they use that power to they become victim of their senses at the end. So if we do not channel it towards Krishna, no matter how powerful we are, no matter how famous we become, no matter how much we know, no matter how much we are, whatever it is that we earn through material strength, we will ultimately become the victim of our senses. And the main highlight also is about envy. How he was so envious. Hiranyakashipu was so envious that he started suppressing all the devatas, and they were just tormented by Hiranyakashipu's behavior. Instead of actually being a good king, he started to just harass them and abuse them and exploit them. And these demigods ran to Krishna and they started offering prayers and they requested Krishna to protect and save them. And Krishna said, don't worry, the noble Prahlad will come. Until then, hold yourselves, hold your breath. So like that, then let me see where else. I just want to give like a quick review so that we can also discuss a little bit. So the bhakti aspect which appears in Prahlad is actually the Lord's protection, which manifested in him, that protected him from his father. So that creeper of bhakti is growing within us, and that bhakti entails great humility, great sense of good qualities, which is in the service of the Lord. And so by watering that devotion, see that humility and that bhakti creeper, through how we water it through hearing and chanting, Shravanam, Kirtanam. So I will end with this point. So Srila Prabhupada, he speaks about this in Adi Leela, Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela. He says that the urge for creation and the initiative power is the cause of all inventions, and according to the necessities of time, space, and objectives. So the uti is a very important aspect. The urge to act is so crucial for us to determine the direction, whether it's universal, means macrocosm, or on the microcosm level. The inclination to act becomes the crucial cause of all inventions. So that is Srila Prabhupada. Yeah, so I wanted to be done in 15 minutes, and it is 15 minutes now. So this is a brief overview. I do have the plan. The plan is, if you all like the idea, we do like that. We do a review and then we discuss it, questions and comments. And then this overview that I'll give in the next 10 days, 15 days, whatever, all through March, I can do that. Then April will be the month where each of you can pick a particular topic that resonates with you, that is something that's working for you, that's something that you're working on, and then you can present your own presentations based on this, because we really need to churn these topics. There's so much nectar in these. So I kind of divided, I sent to Rukmini Priya Mataji the titles, like every chapter we can have an attractive title. Today is just like a brief overview, but then from tomorrow I plan to also have present a PowerPoint with text. But I do have a little bit, couple of pictures to show you to end this talk. So we'll start with yeah, this one. The story of Prahlad Maharaj and Narasimhadeva. This comes, Lord Narasimhadeva's appearance. This is 7th canto, 8th chapter that start happening. And this is pure bhakti and mixed bhakti, the categorization. And then there's, a lot of descriptions about Sanatan Dharma. This is not what I wanted to show you, actually. This is the one I wanted to show you. So the pure bhakti, the story of Prahlad Maharaj and Lord Narasimhadev. So what we will do is go section by section. I'll just cover a chapter at a time, the overview of a chapter, based on whatever is the key elements of that chapter. For example, this is chapter 1. We can look into this tomorrow more deeply, but just want to kind of give you an overview of what all we will make. And you can, when we're doing this, why I'm showing you this map is so that you can start making your own notes. You can start making your own churning. So whatever comes to you, you take that topic and then you listen more from other speakers, you research about it, because there's a lot that we can uncover and go deeply and dive into the philosophy. So this is like a general thing with first canto, first chapter. Here in Krishna's apparent partiality towards the Devatas, Krishna's astonishing mercy in liberating the demons, Hiranyakashipu's austerities and atrocities, Prahlad's devotion and Hiranyakashipu's anger, and Prahlad's teaching to his schoolmates. That's where we have stopped so far in our study. And so before we go further, I'd like us to kind of revise. So, okay, thank you. I said I'll stop, but I didn't stop, sorry. Yeah, any questions, comments, discussions? Now we can begin then. Oh, you couldn't see my Zoom screen? Sorry. It's okay, tomorrow I'll show you.
Yeah, it was a little blurry in the beginning, but when you enlarge it, it was fine. I don't know, because Ashka is on her phone. Maybe that's why.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah, I could see. Yeah, I could see it fine when you enlarged it.
Yeah, so today is like a quick thing to just introduce this. And since you all voted favorably for this, then I will start from the any comments, any questions, anything that comes to you fresh?
So this watering bhakti process, you say that it gives us humility. Can you expand a little bit about that?
Can you repeat it, because a few words just got missed? Can you repeat that again?
Okay, so you were saying our bhakti process of hearing and chanting, that's watering, the bhakti process. And the Prahlad Maharaj, he got great mercy from the Lord. So it's because is it due to Prahlad's humility, or does that humility came from Narada? Like, he had such humility. He was so tolerant. No matter what his father did, he accepted it and trust the Lord completely. So, he got that mercy, or he just developed that, or is it due from his past, punya, or?
Very good question. Everything you mentioned, it is because of the causeless mercy of the Lord, is the causeless mercy of Narada Muni, and also Prahlad Maharaj's previous life. It was mixed thing. He was born as a demon, but there is a story even behind that. So everything combined together gave him that opportunity. But the truth is, we also all of us also have that opportunity. So I want to show you this tree, Bhaktilata Beej. This is the Bhaktilata Beej, okay? So this is the creeper of devotion. So the goal is prema, love for Krishna, which naturally Prahlad Maharaj was already given with it. For us, however, we have to begin with we have to cultivate this roots. And what's the root? The field of our heart. The root is the Shraddha. Shraddha is little faith, little thing, whatever. And so every incarnation, Krishna comes to and revoke that Shraddha in us. Every devotee comes, Prabhupada comes, different devotees, different sadhus, different acharyas, different angels, different saints. They're all trying to cultivate that in us. Even astrology people wear all these stones, right? You might have seen people wearing all kinds of stones to different fingers. They'll wear different color stones. The concept of that is in Vedic astrology to trigger that faith in individuals, because we all are looking for faith. We are all made of that. That's what we are here for, cultivating the faith. So it's like an indirect way of feeding, as I always say. So wearing these stones is a way of establishing some shraddha, some faith in somebody, in something. So these stones, like, okay, they represent different planetary deities. So they wear that to say, oh, I have faith in this planet. because that planet, let's take an example, Mars. Oh, somebody is like not able to be determined and they're not able to achieve things. So they go to an astrologer and the astrologer says, okay, wear this coral stone that is representing Mars, and Mars energy will become activated. So then the person is like, yes, Mars energy. So they have faith. They have faith in that little piece of stone. And they say, yes, I want to activate this. And then they may pay a lot of money, first of all these stones and all cost a lot of money. And then they pay, they go to the jeweler, they get the ring made, and then they wear it, and then they put their faith into it. But what if we go beyond it? For those who are Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, there is a deeper knowledge. Shudras, they need this kind of things because they may not have natural faith. They need all this thing to catch to something. Ultimately, if you look further, somebody who's smart will say, okay, what is this stone, by the way? Oh, is it Kuja? Oh, who's Kuja? Who is Mangal Grah? Oh, there's a Devata, oh, particular deity who rules that planet. Very nice. And who is that person? Oh, this is the person who rules a specific planet in the cosmic creation. And who does he work under? Nrsingadev, because Nrsingadev, very clearly, it's in our Shastras about, today we were just working on a project about Nrsingadev is Vatsalya Rasa. Rupa Goswami is describing all this, that every planet has a deity of Krishna ruling it. So ultimately, when we look further, well, what is the faith? What is that faith? In what? In people may put their faith in celebrities, sports stars. So it doesn't have to be only mystical stuff like astrology and stones and planets. That's a little bit in a divine or spiritual realm. It could even be something very mundane, like putting your faith in politicians, putting your faith in celebrities, etc. So Prahlad Maharaj put his faith in Narad Muni, faith in Narad Muni. We also have some Shraddha Mulya Shuddhanam. So we have the offer in the Amazon life market of our devotional life. There's an offer by Lord Nityananda. He is the owner of the market of the holy name. Khoda Nitai. He is like Khoda, like in people who are Muslims, they say Khuda, right? In Urdu, Khuda means God. Khuda Nitai. So it means the master, the Lord. So Khuda Nitai. Nitai is the owner and the Lord of that market of the holy name. So we also have access. It just it depends on our desires. It depends on our whatever little thing in our hearts, the inclination, the samskara. So as much as Prahlad Maharaj already was there, our journey has to begin from Shraddha. And then slowly as we go, we associate with devotees, and devotees teach us, do this, don't do sinful activities, kleshagni, go into anartha nivritti. There are 5 types of miseries, understand what the miseries are. And then there are 4 types of sins, karmic things, prarabdha karma is there, aprarabdha karma is there. And then there's a tendency to commit sin is there. And then the seed of all that is also present. So Prahlad Maharaj was already transcended. But please let's not see Prahlad as just Prahlad. He had his journey. Krishna doesn't see us in one lifetime. The Bharat Maharaj, we don't just see him as Jada Bharat. There is also previous life, previous at least 2 lives. As a deer, you don't see only the deer lifetime. So, but you also, and you don't just see Jada Bharat. You see the deer, and then you see Bharat Maharaj. So similarly, whenever we see any personality, we have to see even Prahlad. See, there are the Nitya Bhaddas and the Nitya Muktas. Nitya Bhaddas, we are always conditioned. And then there are those who are eternally liberated. But even those eternally liberated, they had their journey. So this is our journey. So sometimes we may compare and say, maybe sometimes, I'm not saying me or you, I'm just saying the hypothetical us and you. Somebody may say, Prahlad is a pure devotee. I can never be a pure devotee. So that's my escapism to not perform sadhana bhakti. So no, the point is even Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Narottam Das Thakur, Srila Prabhupada, everybody shows us that this is the path. This is we need to practice devotional service. We need to do the bhajan. We need to do the sadhana. We need to perform devotional service in favorably. Then we reach these stages, and then there will be Nishta. Yesterday, when was I talking about it? When was I saying that, Nitya Kishori, that even until, when I gave the class, until bhava, there is still some anartha left. So we depend on the Lord. So Prahlad was dependent on the Lord. For Prahlad, it's the snakes. Prahlad, it's the snakes that Hiranyakashipu put him in the room full of, or the elephants which came to trample him, or he was thrown up down the mountain. For us, it's our anger and our lust and our false ego and our envy. So the point is, everybody goes through something, but how we react to it. Do we call the Lord, or do we say, I'll fix it myself? So Prahlad, what he did, he also had the snakes around him. He also had the elephant. He also was put under in fire. All the circumstances happened to him. So our anarthas may be more internal. For him, he had the external obstacles. Does that answer the question?
Oh, yes, Mataji, amazing. Thank you so much.
It's not demon, it was Indra. Indra wanted to take her. He took her. He kidnapped her and he was taking her. Then Narad Muni came and said, don't do this nonsense. The child is because Indra wanted to kill the child. Because he was scared that it will also be a bigger demon than Hiranyakashipu. Sorry, there was a question in the chat box. I'm replying to that one. So Indra had his fears. See, that's the thing. Prahlad was not afraid. He was just not afraid. Okay, any other realizations, any other thoughts? Actually, we are almost done now, so we can end here. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. The 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, which represents the arms of the Lord and the creational aspect of Uti, which is the inclination to act. May we gain the mercy and blessings of Srila Vyasadeva, Srila Sukadeva Goswami, Parikshit Maharaj, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Srila Prabhupada, and our Guru Maharajas, so that we can dive deep into these teachings and learn the principles and imbibe these principles and apply them in our lives. Jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.